Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range Podcast. Today, Rick, we are live. It's a Tuesday morning. We're excited about it. We're going to start playing with some time slots, but we got a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the border. We're going to talk about some negotiations that have been going back and forth between international folks and the president. We're going to talk about AOC, who, we've talked about how we believe she's a force. She's a force to be reckoned with. We'll talk about her. She did some tweets. But anyway, thank you for joining On the Range Podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and join with me, as always, is my co-host and friend from warhog.com, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's going great. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to lie. Intro music, I wanted to break away and go hit the gym real quick, man. That will get you fired up. So for all the viewers, listeners out there, thank you guys for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Guys, we're seeing it, right? We are watching American leadership in action. Yep. And dude, if it doesn't invigorate you to really want to go out and be that 1% better, I don't know what is, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that President Trump took a play out of the On the Range podcast playbook being 1%, but my man's being about 20% better every single day, man.
Yeah.
Just absolutely crushing it. So super excited about this episode, guys. Work with us as we start figuring out some time slots, right? We're going to try to figure out what works the best to kind of get these lives out there. Kind of ramping up the production value, the production team behind the scenes, man, they're working hard, right? Love those guys. So, yeah, looking forward to the show, buddy.
Yeah. Wherever you are, thank you for making us part of your day. Like Rick said, we're playing around with the time slots, but if you're new to the show, thank you. You're awesome. No matter if you're listening on the YouTubes or the X fam that we just joined and blue check marked that. And also Facebook. Thanks for joining in. We really appreciate it. Do us a favor. Make sure you go to ontherangepodcast.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Leave us a comment and ratings. We enjoy those. It's a lot of fun, especially some of the ones that are getting after us a little bit. Hey, whatever you do, just, we're trying to be as authentic as possible. But jump on the comments and give us some information, because we're going to talk about some immigration stuff. And we're going to talk, we've been talking heavily about the FEMA response, and we'll get back to that. But I think we haven't really had a good opportunity to talk about some of the stuff when it comes to Tom Homan and the work that they're doing and some of these sanctuary cities as well. But we want to kind of jump into the first part with Brian's on. Thanks, Brian. We want to jump into this first part, Rick, talking about what happened with the president of Colombia and the negotiations that happened this past Sunday. It only took a few hours for it to be resolved, but it was kind of interesting. They have been some resistance from these international folks who don't want to take their citizens back. To me, that we'll always take our citizens back. We'll always take, we're going to do whatever we can. They did whatever they did, but they're coming back. We're going to treat them with dignity and respect. And, there was some accusations by Colombia. You can't treat them this way. Treat who? Your citizens. We're giving them back to you on a first-class flight directly back. They're well taken care of if they were detained and all this other stuff. So I don't know what he's talking about there.
Well, see,
go ahead,
I do, Mark. Let me interject. And guys, if you got some input on this, please, hit it down in the comment section. Here's the thing. These countries basically opened up their floodgates to not the best people. So let's think about it.
Right.
Let's imagine the US, for example. Let's go out, let's scoop up everyone that's incarcerated, all those that are mentally deranged, and let's push them to whatever border.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you seriously, let's think about it in Colombia's case. Would you really go, oh, we want our citizens back? Oh, hells no, they don't. Right. Think about the burden of them dumping tens of thousands of criminals out of their system. Now, I can't speak specifically for Colombia because I can't recollect. I know the one specifically. I know Bolivia, just because the base we're working at down there did have a detention center. And if your family did not come and bring you food, you didn't eat. So I don't know how much government subsidies is going on. But at the end of the day, just the mere having the structure, electricity, personnel, it's going to cost money. So if you clean all them bad boys out and get rid of them, yeah, you get a little bump in your economy, right? But you're not dealing with those problems. Of course you wouldn't want them back.
Yeah.
Who would want, murderers, rapists that you just dumped out to go, oh yeah, we'll take them back open arms.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see his argument. We clean house. We don't want our
Yeah.
traffic. So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents on it. Let me
No, I totally agree. It was definitely, cloaked in a veil of we're good people, you're horrible people for doing this kind of
Mhm.
thing. And I don't think anybody cares because we are in this situation. And that's a great point. Americans in general have been giving aid and feeding and defending and liberating people since our existence. And it's just a fact.
Mhm.
Absolute fact. Are we perfect? Nope. Absolutely not. But that's a fact. And any person who's a good person, whether you're God fearing and you believe in that or not, but we do not like to see those folks who had their appointments canceled when they were going through the CB1 app. I get it. The CB1 app is tough because it's a legal way of doing it, but it's necessary to do what they have done because you can't let 15 million folks in here without being vetted in the least and not do something immediately to fix it when you start to have the problems we're having. It's just a
Mhm.
necessary thing. I don't like seeing people who are dreamers who want to come here and take advantage of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're all for that, but you got to do it legal. And
Yeah.
we wouldn't be in this position if it hadn't have been for the last 4 years. That's a fact, and that's just how I feel about it. I do think at some point it will get corrected. It's going to take a while, but it's going to get corrected where we can get those ports of entries and all those things back up and running. But
Eh,
you're using that CB1 app, the border control app, to kind of circumvent what the legal process is basically what was happening. They were just catching and release. We can't have it. So, okay, fair enough. But what ended up happening is President Trump got that memo while he's on the golf course saying, hey, man, yeah, they turned our planes back. So he immediately takes to True Social, puts up that post, and I'll put it up here in a second, puts up the post and was like, yeah, man, yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to impose a 20% tariff. And if it doesn't change in a week, we're going to make it 50. And it's just going to keep getting worse.
Mhm.
And AOC had a response to that. We're going to bring that up. And let's go ahead and see what we got. Now, Brian, it looks like Brian made some kind of contribution to the show. Hey, man, I don't know exactly what that's about. We've never asked for that before, but hey, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So let's bring this up, Rick. And I'm going to have to read it from another screen, but here's what we got. This is from AOC's Twitter, and this is via the X page on the range cast. And that's been a lot of fun too, and been pretty successful. I think it's been a blast.
Mhm.
The comments and some of the people that follow us and make comments, man, it's classic. It's a lot of fun, but there is some decent information that comes out of there, no question. Her response to this was, let's read Trump's actually the truth social. I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States, or repatriation, I'm sorry, with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. The order was given by Colombian socialist president Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. And I think that's true. I
Mhm.
think that's true. He's not lying about that. He's going to
Yeah,
have a problem this next election
look at his
cycle.
past.
Yeah. So Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following actions. I'm not going to bring all those up, but the first one we already talked about, the
Yep.
25% tariff after a week, it's going to go up to 50. Here's a big one. Travel ban and immediate visa revocations of the Colombian government officials. Dude, you're out. You're not coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Here's her response. After presidents, oh, here we go. My bad. Here's her response. To punish Colombia, Trump is about to make every American pay even more for coffee. We pay tariffs, not Colombia. Okay. She's making a decent argument. That is true. That is true. Everybody
But
pays tariffs. We pay tariffs to China.
right, but let me pause you, right? You think Colombia is the sole source for coffee,
No.
right? I mean, you have to sit there and AOC, bless her multi-million-dollar heart, right? And we'll talk more about that there. But um she's kind of brain dead. So you have a government that's not working, right? And she's all about having the illegals be here. So let's let that be.
Yeah, that's just the truth.
Yeah, so, but my point on that is, really, that's going to be your comment? You're punishing Colombia? No, you've got illegals here from that country. They don't want to accept them back. Hey, we're going to do something to fix that. And then her response is, we're going to pay more for coffee.
Yeah.
Really? Hey, check it out. We won't import another Colombian coffee bean.
Nah.
How about them apples?
Yeah, Americans
Right?
don't care. Americans don't care about coffee or flowers. They care about protecting their borders and their people.
Yeah, we can get coffee
Period.
from a bunch of other places, right? It's not
100%.
they're not the sole source. So, again, AOC, just pull your head out your fourth point of contact, man. She just
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we can argue about the economics all day. Someone who's much smarter than me could probably put up a better argument. But the fact of the matter is, we are 26% of their gross domestic product,
Mhm.
period.
Yeah.
Period. It would be devastating for them just to have the tariff, let alone us never buy another thing from them again. It's just not even close. And they folded like a house of cards. It was I think he was on hole 3 on his golf game. By the time he got to hole 8, it was totally reversed.
Yeah.
Totally reversed. So, yeah, I see what she's saying, but to sit there and say that people are going to, be devastated because they have to pay, 20 cents more for a cup of coffee or pay more for flowers. Come on. No, if that's your concern, then you've got it pretty damn good. If that's your concern about what you're going to pay, 20, 25% or 25 cents more for a cup of coffee, you must have it pretty damn good, but it's not worth risking national security and getting this country back on track when it comes to immigration at all.
No, because let's just look at the safety aspect. You look at any of these families that have been affected by these illegals.
Yep.
And just ask them, hey, would you pay a quarter more for a cup of coffee to have your loved one around? You know what their answer is going to be? I'd pay $25 a cup to have my loved ones around. Yeah. Right. So don't play that argument that it doesn't shake. Right. And again, all these politicians and AOC, again, my girl lives in a plastic bubble. Mm-hmm. She's protected from all this. She's not living. None of these people up there in DC are living the real world, in my opinion. They live these sheltered lives, right? They're getting slid all this backdoor money. My girl starts freaking with a 20K net worth. She's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
On a $175,000 budget. Girl, I need to take a look at how you're doing your business, right?
Yeah.
So
put us in touch with your money guy.
Yeah. But they're all crooked, right? So then in turn, they want to sit there and get on their high holy horses. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, your responsibility is to the American people. And what we're watching is Trump with his cabinet picks starting to clean house, just like he said. Now, he's inherited God knows how many millions, right? We don't know the actual numbers. We got estimates. We can guess. I know we got 300,000+ kids being trafficked.
Yeah.
How about we worry about them cats, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day with all of this, it boils down to Americans have lost lives because of the decisions of the Biden administration for what? Looking to get voters. And to be honest with you, as many janky pardons as that dope did, I'm surprised he didn't do an amnesty package. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank God he didn't. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if you can
law. I think that would have to be law.
Yeah. I don't know if you can mass pardon umpteen gazillion million people that have illegally made entry into this country. But at the end of the day, what you're seeing is the Trump administration coming in. And I mean, we're barely at over a week.
Yeah.
Making huge impacts.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I just want to say this key point. Just because they are doing all their work, get these criminals and all these illegals out, that does not mean that you, the American armed citizen, stop training.
No.
That doesn't mean that you, the law enforcement officer, go, "Ah, yeah, it'll be safer. I don't need to put that dry fire in." No, you guys have got to still stay after it because you never know where that evil is going to lurch at.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to kind of do a little segue of that. February 6th, 7th, down in Holt, Florida, free, let me say it again, free law enforcement red dot pistol training. We'll provide the
Yeah.
pistols, optics, and holsters for you. Officers, we still got some slots left. Come on down. It's free training, right? All you have to do is get 400 rounds of ammo, come out and train. With that, you will also receive a copy of the Firearms Training Notebook, 1% better every day.
Yeah.
We'll shoot drills, put tangible data in there. But for the regular citizens out there, again, going back to the training plan, you got to have a plan. It's no different if you're balancing your budget, whatever you're doing, your workout schedule, you've got to have that plan. And the Firearms Training Notebook does that for you. It is a simple, easy way that you can track both your live and dry fire training and make yourself incrementally better.
Yeah.
So super easy to get. Warhog.com, KelleyDefense.com, or swing by Amazon. You just either put in the Firearms Training Notebook, Rick Hogg, Mark Kelley, boom, trust me, that thing will populate. But absolutely phenomenal tool to enhance your overall firearms training.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great point. That's a great point. You know, we're pretty good at what we do, and we enjoy helping every legally armed citizen of the United States. We absolutely love it, but we really enjoy, giving back to the men and women in uniform, and it's free. Like Rick said, it's free this coming month. Just go to one of the websites and you'll make it to the other one if you need to, but go to warhog.com and check that out.
Yeah, buddy.
So you made a great point bringing up, who's opposed to this, or what would people do if their loved one, they could bring their loved ones back, and we know they do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The folks who are opposed to some of this stuff, you got to ask yourself, I don't care about the feelings about it. And see, that's another thing. GAM, grown ass men, do not care about feelings when it comes to these type of topics. They don't care. They don't care. They want to protect. They want to make everything better and safer. And you know what? You better buck up because and shake that stuff off, like Adam Schiff and all this other stuff he's talking. It's absolutely ridiculous. Over 100 people voted against putting in the Lakin-Riley Act. Why?
Yeah. 187 Dems opposed.
187.
Right. Opposed legislation to protect Americans.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling, right?
Yeah.
And here's part of the problem. And Brian brings up a great comment. His wife works in a school, and they're in panic mode up in there in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that ICE is going to come in and get kids, right? And it kind of segues into the Dr. Phil Tom Holland conversation, because that was one of the questions Dr. Phil asked, because now we've got this circulating rumors, right? That ICE is just making these fail swoops, these sweeps.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going into schools and just, I think is Dr. Phil said, scooping up all the brown kids, right? Or they're going into these establishments and scooping up all the brown people. Well, here's my thing. Tom Holman comes back, says, no, we're doing targeted
enforcement. Yeah.
Targeted enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line, guys. Let's think about it for a minute. Say what you want. If your native tongue is not English, you're suspect. I'm sorry to say. You're suspect. So at that point, the burden, I hate to say it, kind of becomes on that individual. You may be here 100% perfectly legally, right? Got it. But here's the thing. If you look at, everyone wants to talk about immigration laws, all this other crap. Nobody wants to look in the history books. When you had people traveling 2+ weeks on a boat from Europe to hit Ellis Island, a lot of them did not speak the native tongues. So in turn, you look at, let's say, New York City, for example, where you've got your section that has Italians. People came here and they wanted to learn the language. We don't see that nowadays. Like we had, what was it, years back, the conversation, is English the official language of the United States? Have you lost your ever-loving mind, people?
Yeah.
Yes. Right? So I'm sorry. If you don't want to sit there and learn, That's suspect right there. Now, are you here just for the free goods? You looking for the government cheese? You got to put some work into this country.
You
We
looking to
want to
do,
take in,
you have ill intent?
who knows,
Yeah.
right? But my point being is, if you're not willing to put the effort into this country, why should we be willing to put the effort into you? And I'm sorry, you got problems with it. Blame the Biden administration, right? Millions of people have flooded into this country that we have no idea who they are, where they came from,
No.
what their intent is. At the end of the day, my concern as a fellow American is my fellow Americans' safety and security. I don't want to see another American's life lost due to one of these savages.
Yeah.
And if that offends, sorry.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And
Yeah.
there's going to be some growing pains with it, right? You're going to have some people potentially detained that could be good to go. Okay, not a problem. It's super easy to prove your citizenship where you're sitting at. Either you got the proper documentation or you don't. So people need to quit getting in this panic mode. You should be happy, right? You should be inviting
Safety.
these
Yeah.
officers to come in and
Yeah.
clean house. But you notice, Mark, it's the Dems, right? And here's the thing. Tom Holman, smart dude. He knows the law. And like these quote unquote sanctuary cities, that's illegal. Sorry there, buddy. You are breaking US law by harboring illegals. And I think someone made the comment, you're going to put a mayor in silver bracelets? Well, is he breaking the law? Yeah, that's what it takes. And I'm all for it, because I'm tired of the Dems wanting to play one way, going, no one's above the law. Well, why'd you let all the illegals in?
Yeah.
And yet now you try to scoop it and you want to hoop and holler.
Yeah.
Or circling back to, the Lake and Riley Act. Really? That should have been one of those unanimous, right?
Yeah.
But you want to get on your platform and debunk it? Dude.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
you're
man.
against arresting and deporting someone who attempted murder or armed robbery. You're against that?
Yeah.
They're here illegal. They are not subject to the Bill of Rights. And here's another thing too. Dr. Phil, I don't know if he was trying to clarify or what. I didn't actually see that portion. I saw him when he was on the street with Tom Homan. But that story of in Chicago going up to a school and yanking kids out, or showed up and they wouldn't let him in. That actually wasn't ICE. That was Secret Service doing a site survey.
Yeah.
Something that the school board probably requested them to be there to do. Or maybe they were going to have a dignitary, visit or something, and they were required to do a site survey. It was an absolute lie. It was debunked. But that's the kind of stuff. And also there's a picture showed up of someone toiling with a kid, little girl, and she's crying. And now that's the face of the deportation that's going on. Come on, man. No one's going to buy it. No one believes the mainstream media when it comes to stuff like that. And, you got that Mayor Brandon, is it, I can't remember his last name. Is it Johnson, Brandon Johnson? And you got Pittsburgh up there in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
These folks, it's going to have to happen. All these sanctuary cities who are allowing and harboring, teaching them how to be better illegal aliens so that they don't get picked up. All these crazy things when they're not giving money. And I got a video coming up of a citizen up in Chicago, not giving money to the folks who need it in their districts. They're doing all these other things with it. They don't want that. These sanctuary cities, the federal money is going to stop. It's got to.
Oh,
it absolutely has to.
Well, let this one sink in about the federal money. The Biden administration paid a $378 million contract to this company to transport kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 300,000+ kids that are missing.
Yeah,
whether they've been trafficked, labor, who knows, right? I feel for those kids.
Yeah,
I feel for them, because God, brother, they're horrors. Who knows what stuff's going through? But I want to hit this one comment real quick, and Dan, I appreciate it. So Dan was saying the Mason he learned under was German. He had to be fully fluent in English before he's allowed to work.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it's just that's the way it used to be, right? That's the way it used to be. So why? What's wrong with that? Our immigration laws, and I'm going to say this last thing, Mark, and then I know you got something, but our immigration laws clearly state how many people are allowed to come into this country every single year. It's all clear. Like we need immigration reform. No, we don't. Dems, you're just trying to buy voters. So I think we've all seen your smoke screen. But anyway,
Yeah.
buddy, I know you got some big news coming up here.
No, that's a great point, because are you here to become an American? We're not assimilating your culture, getting rid of your culture. And are you coming here to be an American, and you want to assimilate into the American way of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need people coming up here ripping down our flag.
No.
And I tell you what, that mob that was up there in, I think it might've been Chicago. You want to make a point for us not to get rid of your ass? Start waving the American flag.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wave all these other flags. Get the hell out of here. You're not supposed to be here. This is a nation of law. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just bringing things up. But, getting back to the sanctuary cities and these folks who are not for a lot of this stuff. Here's my problem with this, or my word of encouragement. Look how quickly Columbia turned.
Mm-hmm.
Look how, what do you think Katie Hobbs out in Arizona, who, by the way, was a red state?
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. So she's not listening to her people, are going to fight Trump. An old girl up in Massachusetts. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this, because I think this kind of rolls right into what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
At the southern border, and Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, says military planes will deport every migrant every day.
Is that going to be a constant commitment from the U.S. military every single day to take deportees out?
Yeah.
So is this what we will see every single
You already said it,
day,
lady.
ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes, but you're going to see the number steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide, as we open up the aperture. Right now, it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump's promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
I don't think you could say it any other way.
No, these, Martha Radcliffe, brain dead. How many times? And look at Tom Homan, dude. To the point. Yes.
Yep.
Right. You're going to do this every single day.
Yes.
What part of yes don't you get?
Yeah.
I think. Are you that stupid to re-ask the question? Is he going to give you another answer? But that just goes to show mainstream media, right? Because she works for ABC. Brain dead. That's who. So again, America, be careful who you're getting your information from. Because old Martha Radcliffe can't even freaking get it through her thick skull. He just told you yes.
Yeah.
He told you exactly what he's doing.
I think the fact that, someone like Tom Homan, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, all these folks are going on. This is by way of Fox News that was grabbed from the YouTubes of ABC News.
Mm-hmm.
ABC This Week with what's her face there. They are so good at it's so easy if you just tell the truth. You've always heard that it's never hard to remember anything if you're telling the truth, because the truth never changes. And they do such a good job of just showing how confident and where they're coming from. They're very transparent. They're going on all these shows where you never saw Biden do that. They couldn't do that because they would sound like crap. Conversely, the folks that are running this administration now, they're all over it. And that new press secretary they got, that young girl, she is fantastic.
Yeah.
And she's the same way. She's running something today too. I can't wait to see her first press conference. But yeah, man, let's continue to see what else they have to say, because this is going to get to the point about, Katie Hobbs and Pittsburgh and all these other guys and girls.
Raids are now underway, and the far-left resistance appears to be cracking. At least 7 Democrat-led cities remain defiant, including Boston, but Massachusetts governor is beginning to change her tune.
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. Every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our state.
I wouldn't describe them as raids. What it seems to be is what we expected and what I support, which is the apprehension of criminals in our communities.
I've never heard her say that, ever.
No. And she's like, no, we're not going to use the state police. So you're not going to use a law enforcement agency to enforce laws. And that was her gibbering back in September, right? Yeah. So she, at this point, again, look at how fake these people are. Because back in September, of course, everyone thought Comrade Kamala was going to sit there and be the top dog. So, of course, they're going to tout the party line. They're puppets, man. They're not there for you people.
No.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts, man, take a step back. Look at these bobos you're putting into office. They are puppets. They care less about you. Now, all of a sudden, since Trump's in, and she knows, right? What I would love to see is the amount of federal dollars going into these different states. She knows Trump will sit there and go, boom, funds are gone.
Yeah.
You're out. See ya. They need those federal dollars. And not trying to say hold people ransom. Dude, it's basic law enforcement. They are here illegally. Their intent might be to kill you, somebody in your family, somebody you don't know. Get them out. And these people want a bucket? I don't understand the bizarro land that people are living in.
Yeah. How hard is it? And one of the easiest things in the world to do, and I've told my kids a million times, is to do what you're told if you know that it's coming from a good place, right?
Yeah.
Their constituents, especially in Arizona, that's a red state.
Yeah.
More than half of your voters, a great deal half of your voters told you that they wanted Donald Trump and they wanted those policies. And now you're blocking them. You are not representing your folks. That is their only job. Represent your folks.
But Mark, if you looked at her whole campaign, if you've ever listened to anything she said, she don't care.
No.
She only cares about herself. Like these people, they are selfish.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely selfish. Here's the thing. Rick's opinion, if you're in politics, the word I, me should never be in a conversation, right? I don't think squat. Hey, the people of North Carolina District 7 say this. You're their voice. Now look at, you can have your values, don't get me wrong, but they should align with your constituents because they voted you into office. Now, if your constituent base is saying something that's against what you think, well, you probably need to go back and school them. Yeah, hey, we want to keep these illegals here. Hey, guys, just check it out, just to let you know, right? You've had 40 citizens in this county alone murdered, raped, robbed, whatever, however you want to educate. Let them know. Oh, I had no idea. Of course you don't.
Yeah.
We don't have half the idea of the horrors that's going on in this country to people's safety and security because of these illegals. Only slight little things come out of the news. And that's when they're so egregious that it's popping.
Right.
So it's why wouldn't you? Right? That's the question. That's the question of the hour for anyone that's against this mass deportation. Why wouldn't you want law and order? Why would you want chaos? I don't understand it. I really don't.
They're appealing to feelings that align with theirs, and they're not paying attention to what everybody who voted for Donald Trump in your district. You're just not in your state. You just don't care because it doesn't align with your beliefs. But that's not what you're there for.
No,
you said it. You said it perfectly. The easiest thing to do is to do what your voters are telling you they want. And they have no interest in it whatsoever.
No,
and I'm going to bring up go ahead, Rick.
No, they forget, especially from a representative. right? The word, look at the word, go to the dictionary. A representative, you're representing those individuals.
Yep.
It doesn't get any more clear cut, man.
No. Should be the easiest job in the world. Do what your voters, your constituents are asking you to do.
You're just delivering the mail.
That's all you're doing.
You're a mailman. That's it.
Yep. Gosh, I had no idea it was 180. I thought it was just over 100, 180 some representatives voted.
187 Dems voted against.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And
Why?
you know what? Here's my thing. To all of them, shame on you.
Yep.
And I wish you no ill intent. I don't. But you know what? Don't be sitting there boo-hooing when something happens, because you're a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And honestly, if you're in Arizona and you voted for Donald Trump and you see this, you should ask yourself, yeah, this person is not representing me.
So here's the thing. This is the part that we, the people, forget. We hold the power. Now, it's very difficult as a singleton. But when we get together collectively, and this is where people, let me rephrase, this is where politicians get nervous. And I'm going to give you a quick example. So this has been years ago. Over here in North Carolina, had some shoddy spot zoning, which isn't supposed to happen, yada, yada. Long story short, we were not happy with this parcel that got zoned, and then they wanted to zone it commercial to stick a freaking gas station on this little 1 acre plot right next to a neighborhood, right? Did not work. Educate the citizens. Dude, we packed that county commissioner's office. We had petitions all signed. And dude, let me tell you this. Them county commissioners had never seen so many people. And you know what? They did the right thing. They could have went and played, oh yeah, hey, let's line our pockets. Oh, hey, let's pass this commercial and collect some more taxes. But dude, the people were there.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you're all in jeopardy right now. Because should you flick that yes lever, you're all done. Because we're not going to forget.
Yeah.
Because that sore will be there every single day. And
yeah, I'm sure they're praying for the midterms. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're praying for that, but I don't think it's going to go that great for the Dems this time.
The midterms, but you have to. What I'm saying is it can't be one right now. One can be many. So hey, man, get up with you. You're not happy with what's going on in Arizona? No problem. Work the phones. Work the emails. Yes, work at the state level. Are you talking to your federal representatives, letting them know, hey, man, what's going on? Right? Like you have to hit this from all angles. But at the end of the day, I got it. People make mistake. You elect the wrong people in there, and then they show their true colors. You got to tell them, hey, dude, your time's coming. Because they all want to get reelected. They all want to keep that power.
Yeah, it's the only thing they want to do, right?
So it's either you're going to fail swoop, chop the head off the snake, or you're going to continue to let the snake bite you. So,
yeah. If there's anybody listening in Chicago, I want to put this out before we talk about some of the residents who I have really enjoyed listening to. Man, they are all over it, and good for them. But if there's anybody listening in the Chicago or even in Illinois area, go to be our guest at ontherangepodcast.com, and you have some firsthand information. We'll get you on the show right now. So again, be our guest at ontherangepodcast, one word.com. So,
yeah, so we got a quick, I just want to hit this one real quick. So Brian, who's our I Spy up there in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, man, kind of pumping us with some live info here, right? So the governor up there shutting down mental health care facilities, but increasing homeless shelters / migrant shelter system, because she found a dude with several hundred grand in fentanyl and illegal AR in one of her shelters. Yeah. Of course, he was an illegal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all mass Dems voted against. I mean, it's just, I don't get it, man. The proof's in the pudding, man. They're not doing good things to enhance your community, to enhance the American way of life. So, yeah. But anyway, I'll let you play the clip here.
Again, really enjoyed the residents of Chicago sound bites and them appearing on the shows. This is again from Fox News channel on the YouTubes from the Ingram angle. Let's take a listen.
And so far, so good. But with approximately 15 million illegals here, probably more, Tom Homan and the DHS will need to move with deliberate speed. They'll need to get creative. Everyone here illegally needs to return home so we can have peace in our home. And that's the angle. Joining us now is Vashon Tunsil, Chicago resident and activist, and Joe Borelli, minority leader of the New York City Council. Vashon, Tom Homan's deportations in Chicago, you heard your governor and you've heard your mayor. They're really upset by this. They say, oh, we're not going to interfere, but.
But, okay, I just want to say this. First thing I want to say is thank you, Tom Homan, for doing an absolute great job for cleaning up the city of Chicago. I know you're not done yet. And I have another thing to say to Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker. How do you guys sleep at night knowing that there are rapists out here that committed these heinous crimes against the children and the women? How do you guys sleep at night knowing that we're $500 million in debt when it comes to these illegals? How do these men sleep at night knowing that you're putting illegal immigrants that are committing crimes over the American citizens? I just can't believe that they're doing this.
Well, and Joe, each illegal immigrant in the United States.
You know, this is coming from a resident. This is coming from a resident of Chicago. This isn't coming from you and I.
No.
I love Chi-Town. Love Chi-Town. We used to go up there all the time, but I'll be honest with you. I probably still, up until it started to become a problem where I saw the sound bites and the video of the illegals that are just flooding in there because they're being dropped off in there and Chicago's embracing them. I haven't been up there. Haven't been up there since. And I feel for the Chicago residents.
Yeah. But here's another point, Mark, right? So again, Chicago, gun free. So why would I want to go to a place, increase my risk, and decrease my ability to defend myself or my family?
Yes.
Why would you? It's no different going to New York City.
Yeah, and we spoke out against.
Let's go to New York.
Yeah,
I don't know. Right?
Yeah, we spoke out against Brandon Johnson multiple times, and this Pritzker, you know, this guy who was, you know, born into wealth, you know, out there being the sound of I don't even know what he is. He sounds so ridiculous. He sounds so ridiculous when he talks about the folks of Illinois and how they're wanting this. I haven't seen anybody supporting this in Illinois, especially Chicago. I haven't seen anybody.
But it's these politicians, right? And you have to sit there. This is the question of the hour. And guys, I'd love to hear your input. So slap them in the comments below. But what's driving these people? Right? Why do you have these mayors want to keep these people here? Why would you want to keep people that have broken the law there? It makes absolutely no sense. Why would you want to put your citizens' safety in jeopardy? And why are you, the American people, voting for these people that care less about you?
Yeah.
That's the true question of the hour.
Yeah.
At what point are the blinders going to come off? Common sense come in and go, oh, you want to be a sanctuary city? Have you lost your ever-loving mind? So how about this? You know, if you want to be a sanctuary city, why don't we just clean out the prisons here in North Carolina? We'll launch them up to your sanctuary city.
Yeah. Would
you do that? They'd sit there and go, oh, hell no. Then, but it's okay for illegals? I don't get it.
Well, these governors are basically saying, hey, we're a sanctuary state in some of these places and taking it away from the citizens who live in certain districts. And Huntington Beach, they petitioned and made some kind of an executive order from the mayor saying, Huntington Beach is not a sanctuary city. We will cooperate fully with anybody who's working with the Border Patrol and immigration and make sure that these folks who are here illegally are removed from our city. So that's representation right there. And we'll see how well that goes. but here's what I'm going to, well, actually this is, Trump's going to sign the Lake and Riley Act. I think he's doing that today, but I want to bring that up just real quick. And I want to hear what they have to say. And if there's any response from the Democrats in this piece. I haven't actually watched this. Let's go ahead and let's check this out. Or maybe this is the border, but let's go ahead and check this out. Hold on one second, buddy. There we go.
In potentially a change of tactic. Let's bring in Carroll County, Texas Sheriff and retired Border Patrol Agent Thaddeus Cleveland. Sheriff Cleveland,
Ooh,
good
I like
morning
that
to you.
name,
So you
Thaddeus
just saw
Cleveland.
those numbers. The number of illegal crossings at the southern border, man, it has dropped like a stone. It's one of the most remarkable things to happen, changes to take place over this past week. On January 19th, the day before Trump entered office, 1,354 people attempted to cross. And yesterday, that number was 582. So put that into perspective for us.
And I want to clarify that. I believe that number is the ones who actually crossed and encountered border
patrol.
Yeah. It wasn't people that they didn't know. These are the people that they turned back, I believe. And
yes.
Okay. All right. Let's continue.
That's the way I understand it. I don't believe, and don't quote me on it. And guys, if you got more details, please slap them in the comments below. But there's no more coming in. Like the app's been shut down, right? That thing's debunked. So you can't try to use that to expedite your entry in.
Yep.
You can't cross the Rio Grande and just zip over at Eagle Pass across the water and think you're getting in. So you have to do legal ports of entry.
Yep.
And that's where you saw, the big flux of military going down there, reinforcing the border.
Right.
So I think you got to be careful. Right. This is where it's got to be clear. Okay. So you went from 1,200. Well, we know before they were just letting them in.
Right.
I find it hard to believe that we let almost 600 cats just flow into the country. Right. So I think that's probably the encounter at the border. Cause my understanding, there's no more just make contact and go.
Dude, 15 million in 4 years. How many is that a day? It's a hell of a lot more than 1,200.
Right. But Mark,
you're right. That number is way low because there's still people trying to go, the old fashioned way, over the pontoons in the river. That's where they're coming from. They're not sure. They're talking about the folks coming across the bridge trying to get out. Like, yeah, we can't take you. Go back. That's a very low number. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So with you on the ground near our southern border, what does that mean for Border Patrol agents trying to do their job right now?
Hey, good morning, Carly. Thank you for having me on. And, it's a complete 180. It's the difference between night and day. I don't remember a day, in my 26-year career as a Border Patrol agent that we had that few apprehensions. Wow. But to your question and what it allows Border Patrol to do is to get back out on the border and start looking for new points of and new pathways that people are utilizing to enter the United States illegally.
Yeah, that's a great point. And John B., thanks for the comment. He says, I bet the officers on the border feel much better about their jobs now. Absolutely. Without question. Very good point there, John B. But what he's saying is it's just like in police work, Rick, us being in law enforcement, all this other stuff. We understand if you are taking care of the crime and you lower the crime rate, you then have opportunities to do other things.
Yeah.
Preventing crime, outreach, that stuff.
That's but listen to it.
Yep.
That's exactly what he's saying, right? So in essence, now Border Patrol is freed up to do the community outreach, for lack of better terms. Hey, man, we probably need to tighten up the border here. Hey, we've got no wall here. We got to fix something here. Mind-boggling, right?
Yeah.
And John, thank you for the comment, brother, because here's the bottom line. Those guys, and I know a bunch of dudes that were working Customs and Border, man, dude, they were in the dirt. Their motivation was like, because they knew it was wrong. And it's just, you got to kind of do status quo. Now they're re-energized, man, invigorated to get out there and think about it. What a comment. When was the last time Border Patrol, in the last 4 years, the last time that Border Patrol actually went and kind of surveyed, oh, let's look for some freaking weak points in the border.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Not only that, the work is continuing on the infrastructure of the wall and these other places. They have to be protected, those workers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that need to be done. And, the president sending those folks down there and helping out the Governor Abbott down there is that alone out of this whole big piece is something that he understands how this all works.
Mm-hmm.
It's basic stuff. But if you never do it or have no interest in it, and you're just trying to make, let's face it, contributors to your campaign happy, this is what you end up with. But man, I love these Texans. Let's listen to what he has to say. He just looks like a sheriff.
Specifically here in my county, what we've seen transpire over the last 4 years, it isn't what we have as far as people turning themselves in, surrendering. What we deal with are those that do want to enter illegally and they want to abscond. If we encounter them in the field, they run, or on the highways, they lead us in those high-speed pursuits like you see right there. That was actually one of the loads we got here with, of all people, a Venezuelan smuggler.
Wow. So even though the numbers are decreasing, there are still significant issues that need to be addressed along the southern border. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, most definitely. But I can tell you what, the day President Trump was elected, we knew there was going to be change. That was an impact as it was, because it takes a strong leader telling the rest of the world, just like President Trump already has done, that you're not going to come to our country illegally. Will that stop everybody? It won't, but it will have an impact. And now that he took over as president a week ago, we've seen the policies implemented. We will see the fence start back up, as well as other technology and infrastructure, and most importantly, more manpower on the line.
Yeah.
Well,
brother, I got to hit one quick point, right? And,
buddy.
And if you're listening, you didn't see it, but in those pictures, all those cats were wearing either some type of darkish colored clothes, earth colored clothes, or camouflage.
Yes.
Who does that seeking a better life? Why do you wear camouflage? We all know from the military, right? To hide you. There's nothing good, especially you got some that are just wearing camo jackets, brown or green pants. Okay. You got some dudes head to toe camouflage. What do you think your intent is? You're trying to hide.
Yeah.
So I just say all that. Nobody looking to do good is going to do that. So
no, they're going to follow the law, hit the embassy or the ports of entry. They're going to do it the right way. That's the way we do things here.
Yep.
But great point, John. And here's another thing too. We always say to our law enforcement, our military, and the fire officials who are working on the wildfires and doing what they can, be safe. These border agents are taking fire. They took fire yesterday. And we've had the opportunity to train, with some of those folks, and down in North Carolina, as a matter of fact, and they, stay safe, stay frosty out there, man. It's dangerous, and it's going to ramp up a little bit. And I don't think that's the last time we're going to see that.
No.
So just, be safe, and all the Marines that are down there, be safe to all those men and women, and we love you, and we just want nothing but the best for you. So, but no, that's a great point, Rick. Like I said, we love the sheriff. We love these men and women out there doing that job.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. So now, man, I think this was good. It was great to see everybody on there. John B, Brian, our super chat contributor, Brian. Thanks, brother. Appreciate everybody joining in. If you want to get on the super chat and get involved with the conversation, it's a lot of fun. Go to Warhog Tactical YouTube page today and get involved in that. And we're probably going to continue on the Warhog Tactical side of the house, because there's a lot of folks who've been with us and Warhog Tactical for a long time. So we're going to, I think, keep putting these lives on that page. As well as the On the Range podcast X, and every now and then the Kelley Defense will get in there. But until that, people are more aware of the Kelley Defense page and some of the other YouTube pages, the Warhog Tactical one and the On the Range podcast Facebook page, those are more popular. So we're going to try to reach as many people as we can. But I thought this was great. And we're going to have to play with some of the time slots, but the time slot here, we'll have to see what the numbers are, was a lot of fun, and it works good for a lot of people because they're already at work. So
yeah.
except for those federal workers. I don't know if they'll be able to watch YouTube anymore. Some of those reports have been crazy.
Mm.
Man, they're not happy. And, if people have a legit reason, if it's better for your job to be, I mean, I'm sure they'll still do that stuff. But some of these folks are super salty that they even have to go anywhere.
Dude, spoiled. Right? Eating the government cheese. I got to leave the house to get my cheese. What? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
That's crazy. Anyway, if you like the mugs that we're using today, or Rick's new snap cap, or my t-shirt, let me see if you can see that. If you're watching, you're getting a treat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the swag's up on ontherangepodcast.com. Go check it out, man. Some good stuff. We do it for fun because people want to have that stuff. We have a lot of people asking, when the hats were coming out, because we were testing them, and we're working that thing out. But Rick's got the crew members blackout hat. It's freaking awesome. So go check that out if you're watching, or if you're listening. Go to the websites and take a look at it. But I know we've referenced the crew. Become a crew member. You go to ontherangepodcast.com, click the try it for free button. You get 2 free weeks of the all access package. You can jump on the group video calls with Rick and I. Next Monday is the next one we have scheduled, so we'll be pushing that out. Go on there and try it for free. If you try for free today or the next day or so, you'll be able to attend, and you'll receive the link for that group live video call with Rick and I and all the crew members. It's an international crew who is trying to be 1% better every single day. I don't know, Rick. We have to figure out what the time slot is, but I enjoy doing these lives. I love the interaction with the members or the viewers who try to come on the comments.
And here's the thing, guys. Let us know.
Yeah.
Give us, slap it down in the comments. Hey, man, 8, 9, 10, noon, 1, but let us know, because that's the whole thing, is we want to try to make sure that we can reach as many people as we can. Again, beauty with the lives, you get that interaction.
Love it.
But hey, if you miss it, no problem. Swing by whatever platform you listen to, consume it later on, and go from there. So at the end of the day, brother, it's all good. And really just want to say thank you to you, the viewer listener, for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. We couldn't do it without you. I can't reiterate enough, the like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. That's what helps this crazy backdoor big tech algorithm and helps us just get, more reach to more people.
Right. It does. All right, buddy. I know Rick does a good job at this. You want to go ahead and close it out?
Yeah, man. As always, guys, make sure you guys train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.